Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about our shipment of S19s, 95 terahash. Just got 250 of these and more coming along here in a couple of weeks. And we're talking about our farm. So if you think that's interesting, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, go to cryptollc.org if you want to set up a GPU or ASIC mining farm. We can set up a farm for you, just as we have one here, 2.2 megawatts. And our miners have arrived. So we're going to pass inspection at our farm in like a couple of days. After that, we should start powering on these miners here. All right, and before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, so we just got our shipment. This is the first batch of 250. These are very good miners. S19 series are very good miners. I'll show you guys some boards we have here. Go over the boards and just talk about the miners here. So these ones are used. These are used miners. Now the reason why we go with used miners over new is that used miners are obviously cheaper. They're easier to obtain. You get a good price on them. And we're going to run these in low power mode. Not only low power mode, we're probably going to go with hiveos and run them really low power. So we want to target somewhere around 25 watts terahash is what we want to target on these guys here. So they're going to be running really, really low, using about 1600 watts. That way, we are very, very profitable, and we can have about 1,500 miners at the farm. Now, in terms of used, a couple of questions people obviously ask is what condition are they in? How do you know they're going to work great or not? So we've been running S19 Pros, J Pros, S19 Pros at our farm for a couple of years now, and they run great. These are really solid miners. The S19 series are really, really good miners. So we have no problem with getting used miners. These ones came from a working farm. So the farm has replaced their S19 95 terahash series with the S19 XP series. And since they replaced and they switched out, they do not need their miners anymore. And that's where we borrow these guys from. So we took apart this miner here. Wanted to see what condition. This is a random miner, so we just selected one of these over here, and we wanted to see what condition is the miner in. And we're going to take a couple of these back to our warehouse. We're going to test them, see how they run, and so on. And we're going to randomly select a couple here. The rest of them, they all come with a warranty from the farm, so we have that warranty that's in effect. But we want to also run our low power modes, see what that usage is, and run hiveos and see what that usage is, and kind of get things going. But anyway, before we do that, before we actually move some of these miners to our farm, we're going to go over this board here. So this board, again, randomly selected from an S19. Actually, I'll give you guys some data here. S19, this is a regular, not the Pro, not the J, S19 95 terahash. So this is how the board looks from the front. It's got some dust on it. That's about it. Really, really solid. Turn them over to this side here. This one, again, we have some dust. See that dust? Not an issue. We keep our miners cleaner than this, by the way. We do not have dust like this at our farms, but this is just dust. It's really not an issue. We see that they were not using the same quality filters that we're going to be using. So they're a little bit dustier, but we do not see any garbage, debris. There isn't like clogged, these heat sinks are not clogged with garbage. And the most important thing that we look at is humidity. We want to make sure that there is no humidity damage on the board. And how you check that is you check the very front. So this is the front right here. You see you got a little bit dead bugs. We're going to blow all this away, by the way, when we set these miners up. We're going to use our compressor. We're going to blow all that away. So it'll be nice and clean when we have them working for our client here at our farm. But we want to check for humidity. And how you do that is you look over these little chips here. See that chip right there in the center of the screen? So we're going to look at that chip, look at some of the chips between these heat sinks, resistors, capacitors, things like that. Also looking from this side here. It's a lot cleaner on this side, but we want to make sure that there is no humidity damage, any corrosion, any rust, things like that. And there is absolutely zero. It's perfect. Very, very good condition. Hash board. Then I want to take a look at this side over here. This is the back. So the fan, the intake is on this side right here, and then the exhaust is on this side. So the air is blowing this way. Right? That's why this side is dirtier than this side over here. But we still want to take a look at these chips over here. We have the voltage regulators, we have the power distribution, all that stuff. We have the PIC processor here. We have the power and the negative coming in. We have the connection right there. So we want to look at all these things and get an idea of what condition it's in. And by the way, the board is perfect. Here's the second board, third board, they're all the same. Really, really good condition. Just have some dust on them. Then we want to take a look at the control board. The control board is not that important. The control board is obviously one of the cheaper items. Actually, it is the cheapest item other than the fans. Control board is the cheapest item. So if there are any issues with a couple of these control boards, it's not really a big deal. They are not expensive. What's expensive is the hash boards. The PSU after that, then the control board. Right, then the fans are the cheapest. But anyway, you want to take a look at the control board. Now, the control board you can see is dusty, but it's not an issue. Again, we're looking for humidity because the dust, we can get rid of the dust. So we have an air compressor, we blow it all away. We're looking at humidity. And after going over this control board, I see absolutely zero humidity, issues, damage, or anything like that, just dust. This little lid right here goes on top, so that protects humidity damage to the control board because it's going to be enclosed. It doesn't really produce any heat, the control board, so it doesn't need that enclosure. These ones, they produce their own heat, so they have that protection layer since they're always constantly producing heat. So when humidity, or not humidity, but when air that's higher humidity, ambient air coming in here, the heat sinks will help keep it in check. And it looks like they've been doing great. Oh, by the way, these miners have been used for about 12 to 16 months. So it's about a year and a half around there. So they're great, good condition. The one thing we did see for some of these is the PSUs. So the PSUs have a little bit more dust. You can see on the back here. This one not really, but there are some other ones that have more. Like this one right here. See, it has like little pieces of dust particles that got it clogged up. So we're gonna blow that away as well. The intake for these fans is over here, or for the PSU. The fans look fine, but we do need to blow that out. So every single miner, we're going to be plugging in before we actually run the miner. We're gonna blow out all the hash boards through the front here. Blow out these 3 fans. Blow out the back. So that way it's perfect. You plug it in and bam, there it goes. Again, we're using really, really good quality filtration system at our farms. So this issue is not going to happen to us. I mean, we have really good and enclosed containers with really good filtration. So we're not going to have like this type of garbage that piled up a little bit on these hash boards. Like there's like a dead moth right there. Again, it's not an issue, just so you guys know. It is nothing. It's really, really nothing. I mean, running Bitcoin farms for over 7 years, and this is nothing. Just so you know, it's absolutely nothing. But for us, we like perfection here at Crypto LLC. We like perfection, and so for us, this is not great. But we know that in terms of mining capability and how long these hash boards will last, it's nothing. Okay, just so you guys know. Anyway, control boards are perfect in terms of humidity. Same thing with the hash boards. PSUs, same thing. They look great. The fans look fine. There's one way you can tell with how the miners were being run is by looking at the front on this metal protection piece here over the fans. And you look at it because it gives you an idea of how long it was run and how it was ran. See, this one's a little bit dirtier than, let's say, this one over here. It's cleaner. This one's really clean, and so on. So you can kind of take a look and see like, okay, this one was probably located at somewhere closer to, less clean air. These ones over here were sucking in a cleaner air, and so on. So you can take a look and be like, okay, this one actually looks really clean, and so on. And it gives you an idea of what status the miner is in by just that front piece. Now again, we're going to blow all that away. That's all going to be gone, and they're going to be perfectly clean when we're done with them. So yeah, so then again, this is the first batch that just came in. We're going to have another batch coming in about 2 weeks, and after that, another one, hopefully. And slowly, if everything goes according to plan, we're going to fill out this farm to about 1,500 miners. So it'll take a while, obviously, as if we're only doing 250 miners, you know, maybe 300, 400, 500 miners. If you're only doing that, you know, per month or per couple of weeks, it's going to take you some time to actually fill up 1,500 miners. It might take you like 6 months to actually do that, maybe 3 months, 6 months, around there. But again, we got our first batch here. All right, well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. You know what to do. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to build a farm like this for yourself, you want us to help you build it, want us to manage it for you, want us to run these guys at low power mode, we can get you the same miners, S19, 95 terahash, run them in low power mode. It's going to give you about 25 watts of terahash, maybe even less than that. And that's really, really nice number to have. And you can run these guys for years and years and years. They are solid hash boards, solid miners. They'll last for a long time. Well, that's going to be it for this one. It's going to, until next time, bye.